You're listening to the Flip Houses Like a Girl podcast, where we educate, empower, and celebrate everyday women who are facing their fears, juggling family and business, embracing their awesomeness, and wholeheartedly chasing their dream of flipping houses. Each episode delivers honest-to-goodness tools, tips, and strategies you can implement today to get closer to your first or next successful house flip. Here's your spiky-haired, breakfast taco-loving host, house flipping coach, Debbie DeBeery.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that whatever you're up to, it's easy. All right. So I'm going to share with you an interview with one of my awesome coaching program members, one of my flip sisters. Her name is Tammy Jordan. And her story is really great because, well, everyone's story is great, but in particular, her angle is, I work 10, 11-hour days and I've got a family and I'm busy, right? And I'm also going to make this house flipping thing work. And she did. All right. So you definitely want to catch her story, be inspired, and go take some action. But first, let me do a listener shout out. Thank you for taking the time to let me know that what we're up to here matters. All right. Reviews and ratings help our podcast reach more like-minded and like-hearted women. So thank you. All right, this one is by Tabitha Bruce. She says, Debbie is full of amazing information and knowledge. I have always planned to flip houses. I thought I had to do most of the work myself and have the capital to buy outright. This seemed to be in my distant future. Now she's given me the confidence to move forward with my dreams. I can't love that enough. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, Tabitha, and I can't wait to see you soar. All right, let's jump into this conversation with Tammy Jordan and hear about her first flip journey. All right, let's go. Okay, how about just introducing yourself, letting us know where you are, a little bit about you, maybe a little bit about your background, and maybe what you do currently for work.
Yeah, crazy. So I am south of the DFW Metroplex in a little town called Midlothian. We're out in Ellis County. And it seems like as DFW grows and Fort Worth gets bigger, some of these people are moving a little further out to the suburbs. We also have a lot of people coming in from California that are selling their really expensive houses, moving into Texas, trying to find a little bit of that country atmosphere because they can afford it after selling a house in California. And it's a crazy market for sure. It's in Texas just as it's in everywhere. And Ellis County is not any different, really. So I do work full-time as well. No doubt that is a challenge. So any of the ladies listening, you can do it. It's difficult. You have to ask for help. You have to lean on others, but it is doable. So I work full-time up in Dallas. So I'm up in Dallas every day. And it's a good 10-hour, 11-hour days. I'm in the car 45 minutes one way. So my time is crunched. But when you're in your car, listen to those videos. Try to catch the podcast as much as you can. There are ways that if you want to do this, you really, really can. So that's a kind of quick background on kind of where I'm at. Always wanted to do real estate. One of those things that you hear a lot, I'm sure, that people are kind of saying, well, I wanted to do this and never did. And I wanted to and never did, and wanted to and never did. I finally, just like you said, jumped off the cliff.
Yeah.
And said, If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it.
Right.
Pushing 50. So, at some point, I don't want to be pushing 60 and go, well, shit, I should have been doing that in my 50s.
Yes.
So that's kind of where it happened. Came across your program, if you will, resonated very quickly with just your personality, your vibe, and the women, helping women, just the positivity of it all. Obviously, looking into real estate, there's a lot of programs out there that are all male dominated.
Yeah.
They are not something I wanted to get into. It was just too testosterone driven, really.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that your support group is there, like the tribe that you have built is absolutely phenomenal. So if anyone is on the fence listening to this or watching this, you need to jump in with all feet and go for it, because the support is there if it's something that you want to do.
I love that.
For sure.
Yeah. The community is, I mean, we continue to attract just the like-minded, like-hearted women. And it's just amazing. It really is. It really is. Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of where I came in at it. I'm trying to look at your cliff notes to kind of help keep me on track. So,
okay. You want to just talk about that first one?
Yeah. So the first property that we just finished flipping came about through a wholesaler with a weird kind of connection thing. So as I'm diving into the program, and you're always pushing yourself to get out there, tell people, call people, talk to people, tell them what you do. And so I went through that phase, I guess, August, September timeframe. And was just calling people, hey, I heard you were in real estate, or hey, what's going on? Hey, I heard you did a house. And my daughter's, one of her really good friends' dad is a real estate investor. So I kind of said, okay, what's his name? What's his number? Hey, I'm looking into doing this. What are you doing? And he's been doing it for several years, flipped a couple of houses, wholesales a little bit. And then we made that connection. A couple of months went by. I'm digging into your programs, watching the modules. He calls me up and kind of says, I have a house that might be perfect for you. So it was a nice process to go through with a wholesaler, if you will.
Yeah.
It was not some of the ones that you hear that just go downhill fast, where you got to put a deposit down. You got to make a decision within 3 days.
Yeah.
It was, hey, I think this will work. Here's what I know. Come by and check it out. Not really sure. So it worked out really well. He was able to walk me through a couple of things, listening to your modules as well, listening to him as well. Ended up making the jump, run the numbers through that profit analyzer. And it looked like a good deal. And we kind of went for it. So the purchase price on that one was $155,000.
Okay.
And it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square feet. I think it was 1963, just kind of your standard perfect house to flip.
Yeah, love it.
In a beautiful neighborhood, quiet street, close to a school. I was like, oh my gosh, the heavens have opened. Thank you. And to kind of do that as your first one was very helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of stress of dealing with the 1920 houses or a wholesaler that was pushing me into something I wasn't really comfortable with.
Right.
And then to fund it, so I went ahead and did a 401k loan because I knew it was going to be in and out pretty quick. And the rates on that is pretty low.
Right.
And during that time period to pay it back, they just take it out of my check. So it was just kind of in, out. I was making the payments anyway. Wasn't going to really miss the money. So I funded it through that.
Nice. I love this because I don't think any of our interviews have used, maybe some for like repairs, but not like fully funded it. So that's really interesting. I like this angle.
Yeah. And it was a difficult decision. I didn't want to do a HELOC because it's so much paperwork, and then you have to go in and sign the documents, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I guess we've got enough equity in our own house to do all of that, but I didn't want to tie that up. And there was enough in my 401k. I got to looking at it, and the way my company does it is super simple. It's all online. It's Fidelity. It's a click a button. It's a phone call, and boom, like within 36 hours, you're funded.
Almost
like, okay.
Too simple.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, wait, no, this should be harder.
Right. So that worked out really well. And I knew from an interest perspective, so what I took out was not the entire purchase price. So I just took out kind of gap money, and any reno money that I needed to have. So I only pulled out about $45,000.
Got it.
So a little bit of hedge because I wanted to have some just in case.
Sure.
But looking at the profit analyzer, it kind of told me what my gap was going to be. The way that's set up is amazing because at that one little bottom line, it's like, here's your total funds. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what I kind of used. I was like, I don't want to pull out the full purchase price.
Right.
Because I'll private money that. So I did use private money on it as well.
Got it.
And the private money guy was the one that the wholesaler has used before.
Nice.
So he was familiar with him. He kind of put in a good word for me and said, hey, I'm going to kind of watch her a little bit. This is a good deal. So that went pretty smoothly. And the hard money lender was awesome. I bet he was on the phone with me for an hour going through your list of 20 questions.
Awesome.
Or whatever, those 60 questions.
Yeah.
And he was great. So I think this one was 12% at 2 points. I'm going from my notes, 70% ARV.
Okay. Yeah, that's
which is pretty standard.
Yep.
Pretty standard. And the one I just purchased with him as well, he dropped it down to 11% 1 point. So
awesome.
You should expect them to help you a little bit more the more you get in with them.
Absolutely.
So people that are out there, if you're struggling with that first hard money lender, just understand they also want you to get your feet wet.
Absolutely. Yep. Just power through the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So private money for the purchase, and then gap and reno money came from your 401k. Yep. What was the renovation amount? What were you expecting, or what were you thinking?
Yeah. So I went in with a budget of about 30 plus a little bit of buffer. Mm-hmm. We ended up using right at about 36, 37. Nice. Some of it was last minute. I ended up having to fix the sprinkler system that was almost $1,000 that I didn't think about or even
sprinklers. I know.
Budget. The sprinkler system. Yeah.
I know.
So we went over budget a little bit, but the buffer kind of helped some with that.
Yep.
Let me see. Trying to think through any surprises that came up. So I did actually act as my own general contractor.
Yep. Nice. Even though you're working full time and like 10, 11-hour days.
It was a lot of weekends, a lot of late weekends. I took some vacation there at the end to just really power through and get it done. I probably took about 6 days vacation. Had a really good friend help me. Super, super good friend that came in. She's great at designing. Good. She's really good at rehabbing. So she helped me knock down some of the fur downs in the kitchen and the bathrooms. She helped me think through, if you open up this wall, you can put the shelving here. So I would say your suggestions on reaching out, asking, you have to have some help on this.
Yes. Yep.
You
can't wear all the hats. Absolutely. Yep.
And you just have to. I mean, there's no way around it. You cannot do this as a one-man show or one-woman show.
Yeah.
You got to have that circle of people that you trust.
Yeah.
And you're going to go through people that screw you over. You just move on. Next. Thank you. You helped me see that and move on. So I definitely had a really good friend that was really, really helpful. She's very knowledgeable. She can kind of look at stuff and be like, yes, no. So that helped tremendously.
Good.
Couple of bad experiences with a couple of subcontractors, but I think during your first one, you're going to go through that.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that helps you build those relationships. So going forward, you know who to call in the next one. I'm going to use this electrician, not that electrician.
Right.
Use this plumber. I'm not going to call him again ever.
Right.
Kind of things. So
yeah, I think knowing who not to call is just as valuable information as knowing who to call.
Yes, for sure. I keep looking over to make sure I'm not missing anything. For sure. The neighbors in the neighborhood were super friendly through the process of it all. We had to leave a dumpster out there for 60 plus days. I mean, longer than I wanted.
Yeah.
But as we kept demoing and part of it, I was like, oh, they're so going to call on me. First, the city's going to call me or something, but they understood. And the crazy thing is their biggest concern was, are you going to rent it out? Are you going to sell it or are you going to rent it? I said, we're going to resell it at the retail price after it's, renovated. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, you want, okay, great.
Oh, interesting. They wanted like people who were invested in them.
They didn't want rentals in the neighborhood. So that was really kind of encouraging. So the overall personality of the community is very centered on having families in there, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So your budget was around 30, you came in at about 36 and change. What was your timeline going into it? What were you thinking would be your timeline?
It always takes longer than you think. Always takes longer than what you're hoping for.
Right.
We had started in early to mid-October, and I thought, okay, I'll go through December because we had the pandemic and all of that, and I want to finish out the year, and then we'll kind of list it right around that January timeframe. We didn't get finished until the end of February. So I think part of that was just my type A personality to just get out there. I can do this. No problem. 8 weeks, whatever. but it took a good solid 4 to 4.5 months. Yeah,
Okay.
to really get in there. And I will say what surprised me is it was the finishing, the little bitty details at the very end. It was just like, I mean, we got through demo and putting the walls up and all that kind of stuff. But by the time you start putting outlets in and the little cover plates on everything and oh my God, it never ended.
I can relate 100%.
Yeah.
I am toward the end. I'm always like, y'all, why is this taking so long?
Right.
What is taking so long? Why is this taking longer than anything else that we've done? And we've totally changed this house.
Yes.
I know the details. And the thing is those details are so important because the people who notice them in other houses where those details aren't, right? Like they see the details. I think the details matter.
I mean, even kind of to the point of all the matching light bulbs. So I didn't want some that were that yellow soft glow and some that were the bright white.
Yes.
So I had to go through all the rooms, make sure all the light bulbs were all the same and the ceiling fans were all cleaned off of the dust from just being there for a couple of months. Literally, you got to give yourself like 4 to 6 weeks just at the end.
It's crazy.
Did not expect that at all. But it was good. I mean, it's definitely a learning experience to know, obviously going into the next one, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Right. I know. And the thing is of course it has to come at the end when you're like, I just want to get on the market. I just want to get out. I just want to get done. I want to see what they think. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm over coming to this house. It's beautiful. I love it. It's perfect for somebody and that somebody wants it. Can we just be done?
Right.
Yeah.
And then let's go do it again.
Yeah, right. And I will say, I think it's really awesome that part of your programming teaching is do it in a way that you want to do it again. I had to keep reminding myself through the whole thing. I want to do this again. I want to do this again. I want to do this again. So what decision do I need to make now to make sure that this experience is enough that it makes me want to do it again?
Oh my gosh. I love to know that you were like thinking about that because
you have to.
That's it. Yeah. For the first one, that's it. And everyone has a different definition of what that needs to look like, which is great.
Agreed.
Just know what you need, what needs to happen for you to want to do it again. I love that kept coming back to you because I think I think it's a really key thing to check in on. All right. So is this decision going to help me going to want to do it again? Right. Like, sometimes people are like, well, you say, that you do it this way. Well, that's just that's just how I do it for me. It works for me. Don't worry about that. Like, how do you want it to work? How do you want it to feel and look in your life? Yeah. And that's the beautiful part is one of the beautiful things about this is you can do this business in so many different ways. It can look so many different ways. There's not just one right way to do anything. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to safety, obviously we have to address safety items, but when it comes to, how to manage the project, who does what work, like any of that, it can just look so different.
Oh, it can. I mean, you can have different design ideas. You can have different implementations. You can construct the interior, the exterior differently. You can use big companies as contractors to come in and help you. You can do it yourself. You can finance it yourself. You can use private money. You can take as long as you want, or you can get in there and get out. It is amazing just how diverse it can be based on just your individual needs and wants and desires out of it. But I will say part of the process of this, oh my gosh, it's 100% mindset. 100%. You have to be right going into this. And I think sometimes that's where real estate investing has gotten that bad rap out on the street because people don't. And they go in and they fail. And then it's just the miserable thing. And they spread that misery around and nobody wants to do it because it's the hardest thing ever. But it is totally mindset. Oh my gosh.
Yes. This is a mindset program. I happen to teach you how to flip houses. But nobody needs mindset. Nobody needs it. Right. I know I need mindset every day. I need some mindset.
And there's tough decisions that you're going to have during this. So this is not for the faint of heart by
Right.
no means.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is,
no. Yeah. No fragility. You can't be fragile either. Like,
no, you can't be fragile, and you got to be able to make those quick, hard decisions.
yes.
And it's kind of a really quick decision of, well, do we fix the sprinkler system, or we just pull it out, unplug it, and just, hey, whatever, deal with it when you move in? Do you, yeah. It's a lot of hard decisions. It's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to just keep pushing through. And what I did learn is you got to get quote after quote after quote. And with people on their first one, whoever's watching or listening to this,
Yeah.
I mean, you'll come in and you'll get someone that'll quote you $12,000 for, say, a foundation. You'll get another guy that'll come in and say, it's $3,000. You only need 6 piers. Then you'll have some couple of guys somewhere in the middle. So part of that you can't be fragile thing is you've really got to vet those people coming in trying to do business for you.
Yes.
And making those hard decisions of who to use and why to use them and holding them accountable too.
Yes, absolutely. That right there. Like if anybody took anything away from this, that's take away this. Like that's a really good point. I mean, yes, vet.
It's tough.
It is. No, it is harder to do than to say. But it's so much, it comes back to this mindset thing of we are choosing who we work with. We aren't like begging, oh gosh, I hope they pick me. I hope they say they'll work with me. Like, no, screw that. Who do you want to work with? Who aligns with you? Like, who do you want to support? And maybe they're more expensive than the other guy, but you like, there's something, listen to your gut too. There's something you're feeling a little bit off with this, listen to that. Because every time I don't listen to that, I'm always regretting not listening to that little nudge of, something's not right here.
And I had that experience. So the wholesaler that had helped me get the house, I kind of called him a couple of times. Hey, I'm needing some electrical work. I want to put some can lights in. I just need a wire split so I can put a can light here and a can light here. And he said, yeah, I got so-and-so and I'll send him over. Well, the guy shows up and I just had that feeling like, okay. I mean, you talk the right talk and you kind of sound like, you know what you're doing. All right. I mean, he's used you.
Right.
Okay. So he did a few things, put in some light switches and stuff, and off he goes. And then a couple of weeks or so go by and we're working on a few things and then the lights don't work. The can lights aren't coming on. And we're like, what the heck? So I called him up and he says, it's just probably the switches. They probably don't have enough amperage in the switch. I'm not buying that either. All right. So you're out. Called a licensed electrician to kind of come in and look at the stuff. And he was like, oh my God, this guy didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Oh gosh.
But to your point, I should have at the time listened to the fact that that's part of the process.
It is. Yep, absolutely. It's all part of the process. It's not, the journey is, there's so much that happens in the journey along the way to completing your first flip that completion is like, it's just a slice of the, like what happens, right? It's, that journey is it's so valuable and so many lessons learned. And it's just so valuable. Yeah.
And I struggled through it. A lot of confidence issues, because you're scared to death because it's the first time you've done it.
Yeah.
A lot of faith issues, trusting in the process.
Yes.
Trusting that you're going to get through it, trusting that you're going to want to do it again after all of this is over.
Right.
So, a couple of nights crying, couple of nights just refocusing. Lana, I don't remember if her name is Lana. She's phenomenal.
Isn't she awesome?
With my work schedule, I just can't catch the stinking calls that I want to, but I do listen.
I'm glad.
I go back and I listen at night or I'll listen in the car. I do a lot of late night stuff just to catch up. So she's amazing, really getting the team and the tribe to focus where it needs to be focused, because I feel like if you can get that mindset, listen to the modules, do the homework, the deals will come. The deals are out there. They are in every market because they're happening all day, every day.
Yes.
So it's just, it will come when you are in that moment to receive it.
Yes.
I don't mean to sound all kind of quasi, but that's how it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And if your mind isn't right, you aren't going to just jump.
Right.
And it's so hard to get, like, we can get people all the way to the edge, but we can't be we can't jump for them. I would love to be able to jump for everybody. But and everyone has their own journey, right? So people come in with different, I call it like mindset mud. Like we all come in with different amounts of mud in our minds, right? That we have to get through. And so everybody's journey is different. And so when somebody says to me, well, how fast can I be flipping a house? And it's like, I don't know. I'm like, we've got some layers to pull back, it just depends because it is 100% mindset.
Yeah, for sure. So fun, exciting.
What was your sales price?
We had listed it at, so there's a couple of layers to that answer. The hard money lender sends out his appraisal value because they do their own internal appraisal for ARV to make sure what they're loaning. So they had appraised it at 215, and the market is obviously insane. We're like, okay, we could probably push this to 220, 225 maybe. So I actually went in and started asking 234. I just went, whoop, might as well. We're the only house out there.
Right.
And there's nothing else rehabbed in the area. We're just going to go 234.
Right.
And we got an offer at 232. And through their process, they actually used an FHA loan. And the appraisal from the HFA came back at 225. We ended up agreeing on 228.
Okay. Got it.
There was a lot of back and forth, some of it with the market, some of it with the appraisal, some of us trying to push the market higher.
Yeah.
But they came in and we agreed on a 228.
That is great. Okay. So your profit on your first one?
At 13.
Awesome.
13. Yeah. So I think it was about 6% plus or minus. But again, it goes back to that. You got to want to do it again.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And I have to put certain numbers out there for protection, right? So I have to be like, look, y'all, come in here, you shoot for 10%. But you get to adjust that for your comfort level, but also like, just be safe, right? Be safe. So a 6% return or 6% profit margin is pretty darn good
I'll take it. Oh yeah. I mean, some of it's the learning experience, straight up.
And like you said, you actually want to do it again, and you are doing it. You are in your second flip.
Yeah. Closed on it last week.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
It's crazy.
We talked about some surprises. There weren't any like repair surprises necessarily, except for the sprinkler.
Not really. I'm trying to think. No, we had to repair a pipe that I thought they fixed initially, but that was just, they didn't do it. So I made them come back and fix it. No real big surprises.
Yeah.
And I knew we were going to have to fix the sprinkler. I just didn't expect it to be that much.
And it's things like that it's like, we don't even see it. I don't want to spend $1,000 on this. We don't even see it. It's not a pretty.
It's like, they're just making some profit, but it's fine.
Right. That's how I feel about pretty much every single house I do needs foundation work.
Yeah.
And of course, when we do foundation work, the cast iron pipes, we've got to replace those too. And so I'm spending 20 to 30 grand on things that nobody sees. And it's just disgusting.
Yeah. The second house that I have, the second flip, no foundation issues. It's insane. It's got one piece of the corner of a garage and that's it. Like we're not even going to mess with that. The weird thing is the second house is in Midlothian. I know it's south of the Metroplex, like nobody knows where it is, but it's the cement capital of Texas. So what that means is it's almost like on a bed of rock. So we don't have a lot of foundation issues in general because the soil's really not shifting. So when they put them in, they're pretty consistent with where they're at. And this is a 70s house. So I'm not going to have to do foundation on it. Oh,
that's amazing. Yeah. In Texas, that's amazing. Was the first house in Midlothian as well?
It was in Ennis.
Got it. Okay.
Which is a little closer to I-45. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We touched on some of the other things like how you got contractors and mindset stuff. Is there anything you wish you had done differently when you look back?
Yeah, I mean, I think always. I mean, I think if somebody looks back and they don't have the ability to critique themselves for just self-help, they probably should. I would say over rehabbing, it just, you hear it all the time. Don't over rehab, don't over rehab. Do what the market says, do it. That is so freaking hard.
Let me know when you figure that part out. I'm still working on that.
You're in this house and you're just like, I can make it so beautiful.
Yes, it's so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard, so hard. And part of our going over budget was the over rehabbing the damn thing. It just, we didn't have to take the tile to the ceiling, but I did. We didn't have to put in new toilets, but I did. So some of that's the hardest part. I think that's just the hardest part. Don't over rehab.
Constant battle.
It's a constant battle because you can nitpick it to death. New ceiling fan. Well, the ceiling fan there looked just fine and it worked perfect, but no, I want a new one.
I know. Same. Oh my gosh.
I would say for people coming in, you'll hear it and you'll struggle with it. Just know you're going to struggle with it. It's tough.
Yep, it is. It is. You know what though? I think it's a good sign. I think it means that we are putting a little more care and love into the houses. Agreed. Yeah. I think it's a good problem to have. Now, with some limitation, like let's like within reason,
limit it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it means we're on the right track.
Oh, for sure. Because I feel like, and the other thing is on the over rehabbing, you have daily reminder, I'm not living here. I'm not living here. This is not my house.
Right.
It's while I want to make it as beautiful as possible for those ones coming in to live here, I'm not living here.
Right.
That's going to be my struggle, I think, with everyone. But I think to your point, that's a good thing because you want to give more.
Yep.
And you want it to be beautiful and awesome and amazing, but it doesn't have to be the Taj Mahal either.
Right. We don't have to create them. Yeah. We don't have to create the most beautiful
market. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I know it's tough.
So tough.
Yep. 13 years later, 14 years later, I'm still working on it.
Yeah. And I think that's what sets us apart from the male dominated industry that comes in and doesn't really give that extra attention and that extra love and that extra over wanting to give back to the person that's going to be moving in. They just kind of slap up the paint. And if it's all over the place, oh, well, if the trim pieces don't match up on the door, oh, well, you have a little trim that's like that, whatever. So that is what sets us apart, but it is a struggle. Yes. It is for me, at least.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And we talked about different fears. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to make sure that we talk about?
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I mean, you are spot on. You've been doing this long enough. You know everything from the ins and outs and how to lead and guide people through this process. It is an amazing journey for sure. My end goal is you can see my office in the background. My end goal is to eventually not have, office settings in my background, but maybe my kitchen or my living room or something. So it'll take me a little while to get there. I tend to overestimate my ability to do things. So I'm thinking, by the end of this year, it'll be fine. I'll just quit my job, but it'll probably take me a little bit longer. But no, it's amazing being in this program. I think anyone that jumps into the tribe will thank themselves in the end that they did it and walked themselves through the process of doing it. It's been phenomenal. It's crazy. It's a crazy ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just so inspired by you jumping in and doing. And so this second flip, have you guys started on it? I'm sure you have. You just closed.
Yeah, we just closed. I got all the paint, paper, and all that. Got the water supposed to be turned on today, electrical getting turned on this week. So
got it.
Probably this weekend will be a good solid work weekend. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And the second one is, let me back up a second. My husband, while he is super supportive and just as loving as can be, not his thing. Flipping a house, not his thing. Changing a light switch, no, not going to touch that. So I kind of said, okay, the first one was crazy. It was a gut and a moving kitchen around and foundation, all that kind of stuff. This one, it's more of a hotel kind of thing. So the bathroom's already been remodeled. The kitchen's already got granite countertop.
Nice.
The floors have already been redone. It's just more of updating the paint, getting a better visual on it so that the countertops match a little bit more with the floors. We're going to paint the outside, put a pretty front door on it. And that's really it.
Wow.
So
where did you find this one?
Oddly enough, I was dropping my kid off at school from going to the orthodontist appointment, and there's an estate sign sale on one of the roads we passed. I'm like, you're going to be late for school.
This is important.
You never know.
Yes.
Walked in, the owner was not there, but they were having the estate sale from some company that, does all that. Hey, do you know if they're selling the property? You just, again, throw yourself out there. To your point, you gotta take action.
This isn't a secret mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You cannot do this in secrecy, or you can. It's going to be a hell of a lot harder than it needs to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And longer
yes.
and harder.
Yep.
So it was just one of those things. And he took my name, took my number, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you don't look like you're interested in passing this on. So I skip traced the guy and just called him up. Hey, was it what I think was your parents' house over the weekend at an estate sale? Just curious if you were interested in selling. I know it's not on the market, just starting that conversation. Yeah. And sure enough, he lives somewhere up north, the Colony or somewhere. And he was going to list it, had an agent. And then it just kind of went from there. Boom, 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 boom. His agent called me. We made an offer. We went back and forth a little bit. And within 4 weeks, we closed.
That's amazing. Just because you followed the estate sale sign. And you went there and you're like, you know what? I'm going to skip trace this dude. I'm going to call him. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. He might be really angry on the other side of the phone. You have no idea what's going to happen. You can't control that. So let's control what we can control. So you call and boom, 4 weeks later, you've got your second flip.
Strangest thing.
But it's not. I think it's like, it is, but it's not, because it's
true.
It's just like Tammy in Tennessee/Mississippi area, where she goes and knocks on a door if she sees a house that she's interested in,
Yep.
Because y'all are willing to do the extra thing, it separates you from people, because most people are going after the lowest hanging fruit. So,
oh man,
MLS and wholesale, right? Whatever's the easiest. If I don't have to put any
competitive.
Yeah. Anytime you put any extra level of effort, you're weeding out 90% of the competition. So kudos to you. I love that. I love that part of the story. I can't wait for people to hear that. I think that's just incredible.
So the takeaway is stop at any estate sale because you never know.
Right.
You honestly don't know.
Wow. I love it. That's
my daughter's driving around sending me pictures of estate sales now that she sees.
There you go. Yes.
Nice.
Train them young.
Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait to see.
Me too.
Number 2. Well, that one is probably going to be pretty quick here.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself 6 to 8 weeks because again, I'm doing a lot of the work myself. It's just painting.
Yeah.
And I went ahead on the first one and budgeted in. Well, the funny thing is when you make your profit off the first one, I bought a nice new paint sprayer on the interior, the exterior, repaid myself for your program fees, So it's not that you just go buy a new car and you're just bankrolling in your profit.
No Lambos.
To grow your business, you're putting it all back in. So I have sprayers, the attachments and all that kind of stuff. So kind of just getting ready to tackle that one.
Yeah.
But the plan for that, so this is April. I'm hoping to have it done in that 6 to 8 week time frame. So when school's out, it can hit that early June market. So people that are wanting to move can do it over the summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It'll go quick.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the before and afters. What was really cool? First of all, your first flip was beautiful. That what was it called? The wash you did on the fireplace?
The German schmear.
Oh my gosh.
That fireplace was my favorite.
That fireplace came out amazing.
Yeah. And then we popped it with the black mantle and then the black inset that they had.
So sophisticated. Like it was just super pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. Learned how to German schmear. Again, if you ladies want to get your hands dirty, I mean, literally you can step in any process of this and learn something new. Did not know what the hell it was. Didn't know how to do it. Didn't know what it was going to look like, but jumped right in. And my friend helped me, the one that I mentioned earlier. She was like, oh, we can totally do this. Let me go it's a piping bag and it's this, and let's just go. I'm like, okay, sure.
How did you come up with the idea? Did you see it like on Pinterest or something?
Yep.
Or did, Good old Pinterest and House. Those are my
Man,
go-tos.
I tell you what, they're evil.
Yeah, I know. And that's why we overdo properties.
Yes, agreed.
Well, this has been awesome, Tammy. I really enjoyed this. I know you have a job to go do. Is there anything else you want to mention before we get off?
I don't think so. You've been phenomenal.
You're awesome.
If this goes out and people listen to it, literally, you can do it working a full-time job. Because I know we have women in our tribe that I've seen some concerns. I try to at night scroll through and keep up with what's going on and respond where I can, but it can be done. Yeah. It is hard.
Yep.
Don't sugarcoat it like it's not going to be, but you can do it. You definitely can do it. So if you've taken that jump off the cliff, then you better start swimming and you better start paddling, because it's going to be hard work, but in the end, you're going to reach that beautiful, island out in the sea from the cliff you jumped off of, and you're going to be like, hell yes, I did that because I stayed consistent. Yeah. I know I'm working a full-time job, but I can carve out 30 minutes here. I can carve out an hour here. I got vacation. So schedule that vacation around where you need to be involved in the rehab or stuff like that. Just work the system, because Debbie's system is amazing.
Well, that is such good feedback for people, because it is a constant, well, not a constant, but it's something that comes up, that whole, but I have, right, all these other things going on. I know. We all do.
Yeah.
The things that we give our time to, like when people say, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, it's just because your priorities are a little bit off, because we give our time to things we want to give our time to. Like if we want to make it happen, we absolutely can make it happen. No, it's not going to be easy. The journey alone isn't easy, right? So some people might be saying it's easy. It's not easy. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. They're lying
if they say that.
The hard work is, and it's all mindset. Like the hard work is the mindset stuff and getting your mind right.
I will say somebody had said, how does it go? If you want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Oh my gosh.
So you're either finding a way or you're finding an excuse. It's just what side of that are you going to be on?
Oh my gosh. I can't think of a better way to end the conversation. As much as I want to just keep talking, that is such a great way to end the conversation.
I know you're just as busy. And thank you for your time of carving that out. I appreciate it.
These calls, I love these calls. It's important. I love hearing your stories, and your story is going to inspire so many other women and women you don't even know. And so just know that that's definitely going to happen. And thank you for taking the time to share your story.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Tammy.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye. There are numerous little bits of wisdom sprinkled throughout this conversation with Tammy, but I've got to say, what she ended on is what I'm going to be thinking about. I'm going to carry that with me for a while. And that is, you're either finding a way or you're finding an excuse. Which side are you going to be on? And yes, it is that simple as choosing, declaring, committing, and doing the damn thing already. And if you're sick of being on the sideline and not taking action because you're scared and you don't want to do this alone, you don't have to. All right, get on my wait list, because the women inside my program, first of all, the community is unbeatable. The place is awesome. All right, I guarantee you've never experienced anything like it. Secondly, we are closing on deals left and right. We have so many first flips happening right now. Yes, in the middle of a pandemic, right now. And they're smart flips, and they're doing good in their communities. If you want to be part of something really incredible, we would love to have you. If you resonate with my message, if you resonate with my vibe, I know that you're going to love the other women inside the community. All right, go to firstflipdoneright.com, get on the wait list, and you'll have first dibs on the next opening. Because I give so much personal attention to people inside my community, I don't let a ton of people join at once. So it's on a rolling, ongoing basis, all right? So put your name on that list. You will be notified within a week or two of your chance to join. All right, firstflipdoneright.com. Until next time, go out there, flip houses like a girl, leave people and places better than you find them, and make it a great day.